1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister has announced an historic development package of over 1 trillion rupees for Karachi to address the civic problems in the provincial metropolis. The Railways Minister says international tenders for Mainline 1 project would be issued on the 12th of this month. The nation will observe Defence and Martyrs Day tomorrow to pay tributes to the martyrs and reaffirm the commitment to defend the motherland against all threats. Pakistan says Jammu and Kashmir dispute is one of the oldest items on the United Nations Security Council agenda. The Indian Army Chief has admitted that the situation along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh is delicate and serious. The United Nations has warned of famine risk in conflict-struck Yemen, Congo, northeast Nigeria and South Sudan. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has announced an historic development package worth 1100 billion rupees for Karachi to address the city's chronic problems. Flanked by the Karachi committee members, including the Sindh Governor and the Sindh Chief Minister, Imran Khan gave details to the media men in Karachi in this regard today. The Prime Minister said both the federal and provincial governments will contribute to this package. He said under this package, problems of Karachi relating to water will be permanently addressed during the next 3 years. The Prime Minister said it has been decided that the National Disaster Management Authority will clear the nullas in the provincial metropolis. He said there are encroachments along nullas and the Sindh government has taken the responsibility to ensure settlement of the displaced families as a result of clearance of the nullas. Imran Khan said the package amount will also be used to address the sewerage, solid waste management and transport issues of the city. Earlier, a high-level meeting chaired by Prime Minister Imran Khan in Karachi today reviewed the problems faced by the provincial capital. A detailed briefing was given to the Prime Minister on Karachi's transformation plan. In his remarks, Prime Minister Imran Khan said Karachi is Pakistan's most important city and an economic hub. He said the city's problems can be tackled through coordination. Prime Minister Imran Khan has said ensuring ease of doing business is the foremost priority of the government. He was talking to a delegation of businessmen and traders in Karachi today. The Prime Minister said business community plays a pivotal role in the development of the country and the responsibility rests with the government to fully facilitate it. He said the government's aim is to introduce automation so that the people could start their businesses in a transparent manner in minimum possible time. Imran Khan stressed that promotion of construction and its allied sectors will generate immense job opportunities in the country. The Railways Minister Sheikh Rashid Ahmed has said international tenders for Mainline 1 project would be issued on the 12th of this month. Addressing a news conference in Lahore today, he said an amount of 10 billion rupees has been received for Karachi Circular Railway rehabilitation and restoration. He said in the first phase, single track of Karachi Circular Railway would be completed by the 30th of this month, while the double track would be completed in the second phase. Defence and Martyrs Day will be observed in the country tomorrow to pay tribute to the martyrs and ghazis and reaffirm the commitment to defend the motherland against all threats. It was on this day in 1965 that the Indian forces crossed the international border in the darkness of night to attack Pakistan, but the nation foiled the nefarious designs of the enemy. Special prayers will be offered after Fajr in mosques for the progress and prosperity of the country and independence of occupied Kashmir from the cruel clutches of India. Fatiha and Quran Khwani will also be held for the martyrs. Radio Pakistan will broadcast special programs comprising national songs, interviews of the family members of martyrs and ghazis to pay homage to the defenders of the motherland. 282,553 patients have recovered from coronavirus in Pakistan. According to the latest statistics, there are 9,132 active coronavirus cases in the country. Of the 24,857 coronavirus tests carried out over the last 24 hours, 513 people tested positive. 5 deaths were reported from the virus during the last 24 hours. The number of coronavirus cases across the world has crossed 26.8 million, while the pandemic has claimed more than 879,406 lives so far. The United States is the worst hit country with over 6.3 million cases and over 192,100 deaths, followed by Brazil with over 4 million cases and over 125,500 deaths reported so far. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan says Jammu and Kashmir dispute is one of the oldest items on the United Nations Security Council agenda. In his tweets today, the Foreign Office spokesperson Zahid Hafiz Chaudhry said India has never implemented United Nations Security Council resolutions on the disputed territory. The spokesperson said India continues to deny Kashmiris inalienable right to self-determination enshrined in the United Nations Security Council resolutions. He said Jammu and Kashmir will remain on the agenda of the UN Security Council until Kashmiris are granted their inherent inalienable right to self-determination through a free and impartial plebiscite under the United Nations auspices. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian troops martyred 237 Kashmiris, including 5 women, during the last 13 months of military siege. A report released by the research section of the Kashmir Media Service revealed that unrelenting military siege imposed by Narendra Modi-led fascist Indian government since 5th August 2019 has made the life a hell for the residents of the territory. It said most of the victims were killed by troops in fake encounters during cordon and search operations. The report said the killings by the troops during the last 13 months rendered 9 women widowed and 22 children orphaned. Meanwhile, the Hurriyat leader Javed Ahmed Mir, addressing a meeting in Sora area of Srinagar, maintained that it is the responsibility of the United Nations and world powers to help resolve the Kashmir dispute to save the Kashmiris from Indian brutalities. The Indian Army Chief General M.M. Narwani has admitted that the situation along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh is delicate and serious. At the end of his 2-day visit to Ladakh, he said the situation along the line of actual control is tense. Meanwhile, the Indian Foreign Secretary Harsh V. Shringla, while addressing the Indian Council of World Affairs, said the ongoing tension between India and China at the actual line of control in Ladakh is the most serious challenge for India like 1962. Meanwhile, India and China have agreed to reduce tensions along their border following a meeting of the defense ministers of the two nuclear-armed Asian giants. In the highest level face-to-face political contact between India and China, Defense Ministers Rajnath Singh of India and General Wei Fenghe of China met on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting in Moscow. Palestine has called on the international community to end the Israeli settlers' assault on the Palestinian citizens in the West Bank. The Palestinian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a press statement that the Israeli settlers threw stones at Palestinian vehicles, wounding 4 Palestinians. The United Nations has warned of famine risk in 4 conflict-struck countries that include Yemen, Congo, northeast Nigeria, and South Sudan. In a statement, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said lives of millions of people are in danger and there is a dire need for action to support these countries facing food insecurity. And finally, the weather. Hot and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain thunder showers are expected in northeast Punjab, Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Gilgit-Baltistan, Kashmir, and adjoining hilly areas. To end the news, here once again are some of the headlines. The Prime Minister has announced an historic development package of over 1 trillion rupees for Karachi to address the civic problems in the provincial metropolis. The Railways Minister says international tenders for Mainline 1 project will be issued on the 12th of this month. The nation will observe Defence and Martyrs' Day tomorrow to pay tributes to the martyrs and reaffirm the commitment to defend the motherland against all threats. Those were some of the headlines, and that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.